Hello friends, in 1998, an American man bought an island for $9 million on the map. This 80-acre island was part of the United States Virgin Islands in the Caribbean. It was called Little St. James. From the outside, this private island was no less than a heaven. There was a luxury bungalow-like palace in the middle. Luxury guest villas were all around. Many big swimming pools, a helipad and a gym were also there. But in this very heaven, a very dark truth was hidden. 12 to 17-year-old girls were trafficked here, and they were sexually abused. These girls couldn't even run away from here, because there were seas all around. The most surprising thing is who used to come to this island. Rich people from all over the world. Many big names are included in this list. The British Prince Andrew, Donald Trump, Stephen Hawking. I don't know how many politicians and billionaires came to this island. Parties were organized here for them. But the question is, who was the owner of this island? The answer to this is a name. Jeffrey Epstein. He was a school teacher, but fate played such a game that in his career, he suddenly became the financial advisor of billionaires. By accumulating a wealth of around $70 crore, he became a multi-millionaire among his friends, Bill Clinton and Donald Trump. Everything that was happening in Epstein Island was hidden for years, but in 2005, a small police complaint became the trigger for this case. In March 2005, a 14-year-old girl and her parents were at a beach in Florida. The girl says that in Royal Palm Beach High School, a classmate who was studying with her took her to a rich man's house. She was told that she just had to give a massage and she would get $300, but something else happened when she got there. Epstein meets that girl only wearing underwear. He asks the girl to take off her clothes and then molests her. When the police asked the first girl, "Is there any other girl whom you know who went to Epstein's place?" So he gave two names. When he talked to those two girls, many more names came up. The police officers were shocked to see that this chain was not stopping in. In just a few months, the Palm Beach police chief had identified 55 victims. The police saw that this was not a small case. It was a properly organized case. Every girl gets extra money to bring a new girl, because of which one girl brings another girl, and another brings a third one. In this way, a chain was formed, and most of the girls of this age, under 18 years of age by May 2006, the Palm Beach police had prepared a case against Epstein. The case was so strong that in July 2006, the FBI also started an investigation. A report was made. Epstein was charged with international sex trafficking, many minor victims, dozens of witnesses, FBI investigation, and such heavy charges. A man like Jeffrey Epstein should have spent his entire life in jail. But the truth is that something else was going on behind the scenes. Miami's federal attorney, Alexander Acosta, was having a secret deal with Epstein's lawyers. This deal seemed to be done to save Epstein. He just had to feel guilty about 2 small charges of prostitution. And in return, he and his associates was given immunity from all criminal charges. The most shocking thing about this deal was that it was sealed. That is, no one could even look at this deal. Even the victims, even the poor girls, were not told about it. On June 30, Epstein appears in court, and according to the deal, he considers himself guilty in 2 charges, after which he was sentenced to only 18 months. During this sentence, Epstein was kept in the private wing of the Palm Beach County Jail. He was given permission to go to his luxury office for 12 hours a week, for 6 days a week. It was such a first-class jail that Epstein was only allowed to sleep there at night. And even after all this, only 5 months before the sentence was over, he was released from jail in July 2009. All this was possible because of that secret deal. Because of Alexander Acosta, who got Epstein this deal. Now see the twist in the story. This is Alexander Acosta later on. Epstein's old friend in Donald Trump's first government, became the Secretary of Labor. For many years, Epstein lived his life normally. He roamed in his private jet and met powerful people. But in the world there was a journalist who had decided not to let Epstein escape. Julie Neep Brown. She was an American investigative journalist. In 2009, After Epstein was released, she followed the case closely. After studying the case for years, in November 2018, she published her report. A whole series of reports on Epstein's crimes and how the system saved Epstein. These reports bring a new explosion in the media. The public's anger rises. There is a demand to investigate Epstein again, and because of this pressure, the investigation against Epstein starts again in New York. Julie had identified more than 80 potential victims in her investigation. In her reports, she interviewed 8 of them and documented them. The evidence was very clear. That's why in July 2019, Epstein is arrested again. This time the charges of direct sex trafficking. He was sentenced to 45 years in prison. But then comes the biggest twist of our story. On 10 August 2019, Epstein is found dead in jail. Epstein took his own life while he was behind bars facing charges of sex trafficking. But it's only fueling more conspiracy theories. He retweeted a tweet saying that Epstein didn't commit suicide. He had secret information about Bill Clinton. That's why Bill Clinton killed him. Epstein didn't kill himself became a popular slogan among Trump supporters. In the 2024 American presidential elections, Donald Trump makes it a big issue. He promises that as soon as he becomes the president, all the Epstein files will be made public. Whenever he is asked in interviews if he will declassify the Epstein files, Trump answers, "Yes, I will do it." In January 2025, Trump wins the elections again and becomes the president of America. Now everyone was waiting for the release of the Epstein files. But in July 2025, the Justice Department of the Trump administration announced that Epstein's client list does not exist. Trump said that the FBI should focus on important issues like voter fraud and should not waste their energy and time on issues like Epstein. Trump supporters asked why he was silent. Elon Musk even tweeted that Trump's name is in Epstein's files. Later, Elon deleted the tweet, but the message was clear. Trump's closest supporters became suspicious. Trump and Epstein were best friends for 20 years. According to victim, the parties in which Epstein forced her to make relations with other guests. In 2002, Trump himself said about Epstein. Trump had also signed a note for Epstein in his book, Trump: The Art of Comeback to Jeff, You Are the Greatest. With all these things, rumors started spreading among the public. Because of these conspiracy theories, the public pressure increased so much that in November 2025, a bill was brought to the U.S. Congress, in which it was said that the Justice Department will have to release all the Epstein files within 30 days. But when the day of 19th December came, the Justice Department released only a few thousand files. Were heavily redacted, that is, more than half of the things were hidden in them using a black marker. But still, when people read them in detail, what came out in these files was less about Clinton and more about Donald Trump. According to one email, Trump traveled 8 times from Epstein's private plane. New revelations are the most shocking. The FBI received a call. A limousine driver called on 27 October 2020, just before the U.S. presidential election. The driver told the FBI that in 1995, when he was taking Trump to the Texas airport, at that time Trump was talking on the phone about abusing a girl. According to the call record, 4 years later in 1999, when the driver told this to a woman, she calmed down. And then she said, "Trump and Epstein had raped me." This woman told the driver that a girl had taken her to a fancy hotel or building where she was raped. Trump, who was turning Epstein files into an election weapon before the elections, is trapped in it today. But there is another twist in this whole story. All the Epstein files have not been released yet. More than 10 lakh documents have been left which have not been made public yet. The most important question here is what else is hidden in these files. There were evidences against powerful people, and there was a list of people who came to his island. With time, we will see how many presidents, billionaires, princes are trapped in this, and how many people's names will be revealed in Epstein's black book.